And good evening, and welcome to a Zelda 1 Randomizer 2022 matchup between Unknownavailability and Sharky2107. These two runners are 0-4, looking for their first victory in this tournament, and they'll each have an equal opportunity to get that victory tonight. I'm Furious K alongside Phonix. Phonix, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting matchup between these two. Seems like they've had their share of struggles. Maybe this is the match where they finally break out and get themselves a victory.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, one of them is definitely going to win, obviously, but they've both been pretty competitive, so I'm looking forward to see who pulls it out.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's been a couple of rough seeds for Unknown. He's had a. I know that he had that infamous one right before the uh, rollout of the wheel for week 3. Sharky's not had much better luck as far as.
Looks like we've got a good starting location here, lots of open doors.
Yeah, we'll see if they go the Armos really quickly or if they kind of go through the open cave checks. With the Armos right here, it's no surprise to see at least one of the runners going this way.
Yeah, hopefully get a free item right away. Also, shout out to our tracker, Boof and Boom. Thank you.
Indeed. Looks like we have a candle out of the gambling game in the northeast corner by Sharky. And we see that the normal price for a candle is going to be 57 rupees, so that could also be an option.
See how many bushes they elect to burn down, or if they try to go for open doors.
Yeah, it'd be good to knock him out on the way, but sometimes you get stuck in a dungeon that's not going too well without a sword, and it takes you longer than it should to go find the sword, so it's kind of one of the issues with getting the candle and getting some of those spots taken care of, unless the red candle is part of the Armo setup, which it is not. It's the flute.
Sharky gets his flute, but takes a death on the way.
Yep, not a huge deal because it's 2 screens away from where he starts, so get that item, don't worry about your first death there, and continue on progressing through the seed. That flute will open up one spot for the sword.
Unknown availability, finding a pick any and electing to take a candle.
The question in chat is, have we had a red candle Armos with a sword under a bush yet? And the answer is yes. I know that my first race of this tournament was one such setup. And then I commentated later on a Armos ladder with a Coast red candle. And that also had a sword underneath, I believe.
Pretty funny that we find the recorder and our secret is referencing the recorder.
Unfortunately, Sharky's trying to get some of these bushes taken care of on the way down through the forest, but have to be able to dodge some of the fast red Octoroks, and taking some damage along the way will make it difficult to survive those attacks. I think one of the deadliest enemies that doesn't get talked about is the red lever. It's going to show up a little bit delayed, so sometimes you're on full sprint mode already with Link trying to get across the screen, and it'll take you out for doing so.
Especially
Sharky,
rough if you don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say Sharky must have found a large secret at some point here because he does have quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially rough facing those red levers when you don't have a sword to have reaction and defend yourself.
He was looking for a different setup. I guess he probably lost some of his money and just decided he wanted to go back and hit up a time where he had money, which, 12 rupees is worth it, I suppose, to save. You never know when those 12 could make the difference. Sharky's going to discover our coast item, I do believe. Let's see if, as long as he survives these boulders, he'll be able to go take a look at that. Not too bad on the bait, but the bombs did roll up, so not too many bombs for purchase this seed, as the bloomerang is the coast item. So I don't think that the runners are going to be too interested in going directly there once they get their ladder access, but we'll see.
We'll see how fast they find the ladder item. Might be beneficial to pick up boomerang, but probably not worth the detour to get to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well versed they are on the world wraps and screen scrolls and that sort of thing, but it would be something that could be set up at that point if you were over in the Dead Woods and needed to get back to this side of the overworld. Yeah, it's not the worst overworld, given that it's a Dark Nut set that rolled up. It's going to make dungeons a little bit interesting depending on how many dungeons roll in the Wizrobe set. There should also be Lionels down there, given that the Dark Nuts are up, unless the Moblins roll down. I'd take a look. Nope, Moblins are up, so it's definitely Lionels going down. It's a pretty rough door repair. 24 rupees is quite a bit, and it's going to be well over the small secret. Sometimes you'll get those lucky seeds where the small secret and the door repair are roughly equal.
Sharky knocking out one of our raft spots with the taking road.
Interestingly enough, when I've seen the Roads take care of one of the raft spots, several times now I've seen the other raft spot end up being the dungeon. 40 for the mid's not bad at all, though. That's the maximum number there, so money-wise should be able to afford most of what they want this seed.
Red ring is our white sword item down on the coast.
Yeah, that's a pretty substantial find. It's going to give a ton of defense to the runners, so if they feel like their combat's not quite where they'd like it to be in this tournament, it's no longer going to be as big a deal. It's going to take some of the bite out of the Wizrobes and the Lionels and Dungeons. And hey, we forgot to shuffle where the wood sword would be. It's still in the null location, so as long as Sharky gets over there, he'll have his repeatable A-button combat.
Unknown finds level 2. Looking for a 4-drop item here. But instead takes a death to a Gleok.
Yep. Got a free pack of bombs out of that, so it's not going to be a room that he has to clear necessarily. Could continue on instead. I think just getting his tracker caught back up now.
Meanwhile, Sharky doing a dance with the blue dark nuts and then finding level 4.
Unfortunately, Sharky has not yet gotten to the wood sword cave.
Gets locked in with a bunch of gorillas and says, "No, thank you, I'm out."
Yeah. Fortunately for Sharky, you're gonna get into this vanilla wood sword cave and see that the sword is there, so we're gonna see a situation where he's now gonna have his combat. Burns it for being kind of a dumb location, I suppose, for a randomizer, but you take what you can get. Looks like back into 4. You know, 4's a pretty small dungeon, so it's not one that you necessarily are looking to skip to go to a even smaller dungeon like 1 or 2. Normally you'd skip a dungeon like 6 or 7 super early on if you can, and try to come back later when you have more ability to get through all those rooms without potential deaths.
Sharky gets punished by some blue land molas, but he looks like he's head back in. Kind of hard to fight him from this left door here. Sharky's giving it a shot though.
Yeah, if you're in the right doorway, you can kind of do a halfway out sort of situation where they can't hit you, but you can hit them. In this specific room, if you don't really know how to block clip in a hurry, then it's a really difficult room to deal with. And even still, you have to manipulate the lamels by kind of changing your direction back and forth with your sprite in order to get them to all go the way you want. Meanwhile, Unknown, with a super bomb there, gets his power bracelet off the floor of 2, so that takes care of that. I think he'll be looking for the Triforce and hopefully the heart container. But
look at
Triforce,
that. Next room finds it.
Yeah, next room Triforce is a pretty nice thing to find, so maybe you won't look for that heart container to try and get to the red ring.
Meanwhile, Sharky walks into where Unknown was at and decides to go looking.
Yep, worth noting that because of that any road that you talked about earlier, we will only have one spot where the runners can't get to, assuming Sharky can get his power bracelet out of this too.
Sharky trying to time his escape from the light so he doesn't get hit by the gorilla. Clears a room, well done.
This is the room that UA struggled in because of the BMO statues in the corner. With 1 heart, Sharky I don't think is going to have a ton better fortune. In fact, the Dodongo is actually just going to go after him and get him. And UA is going towards the top end of the rupee count at this point with all the medium secrets that they found. So if they happen to get up to 255, it may be blue ring territory, given that they have not seen that coast take any one shop that houses the red ring and the seed.
Yeah, with the combat that they're facing, it might be beneficial just to pick up the blue ring anyway. Having to wait to get all your ladder might be difficult. We'll see.
Well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to go blue ring hunting now. Tried to get the gambling game to work out, but negative 40 with only a plus 12 value in the gambling game means that you're not likely to be able to make enough money doing that. And Sharky's doing what I would do on 4 bombs. Instead of trying to get a half block bomb, he's just feeding the Dodongos the bombs. Well, in this case, they both ate one, but if you direct feed them and you put the second one down in time, then it will smoke them. He didn't realize that they both ate a bomb, so now he's out. And that's where the power bracelet was, I do believe.
Finds his Triforce, but decides to dig, so hopefully he finds his power bracelet here.
We have 92 rupees for that key. It's probably not the cheapest key, but it could be.
Yeah, Lex to save his money and keep his key. Picks up the Triforce.
Yeah, really needs bombs in a hurry to be able to get back in there and take care of the Dodongos, but fortunately does not get the drop on the first exit out.
Unknown checking power bracelet spots here. Find some money. Guess he's debating whether he wants it or not.
Yeah, I think given the amount of pausing going on, that it's likely that they're tracking him because we keep hearing the sound cut out that the background inputs aren't on for it. So probably just making notes about what's available, what's been checked, and that sort of thing. Sharky, meanwhile, is going back into this 4. It may just be a dive for bombs, given that there's a whole bunch of red Guria early on in this.
Looks like they rolled down though. One-shotting with the wood sword.
Yeah, if that room's super early on, I would be a major supporter of going through that room a couple of times and just getting back to 8 bombs. You'll need it probably in this level 4, and you definitely need it in level 2. Looks like we do have a potential ladder block in this 4. Not sure if it's going to be just one room or if that's progression. Looks like there is a doorway down there, but it's a key door. And Sharky might be trying to hold on to his keys to go a direction he hasn't been. And more red Guria, so we have a chance at bombs, and we do get some. I think that should be the only pack that Sharky sees in this room. He should be on a bomb count now, though.
Meanwhile, Unknown getting robbed blind, almost down to nothing.
Yeah. And this room in level 4 is definitely worth clearing for Sharky. This could easily be a staircase for an item, or even a transport staircase for more level 4. Didn't get the bomb close enough to the dig dogger to make this work, I don't think. It could actually work. I didn't quite see. Yes, it did work. Very good. Now we gotta get out of this room without getting attacked by this one, though.
Yep, killing just one of the small ones. We'll eliminate it when he resets room here.
No dice, though, on the item. So, may have to consider bombing up in the prior room to see if there's a way around this key door, or we may be key blocked out of here. And unfortunately, Sharky didn't try bombing up from the room below the diagonal block room. It looked like there was a room below that, so you could have had a shot there. We do know that there is a room above this blue Lambola room. So there is a good chance that it will bomb open. That would give you a little bit of an easier time accessing that central block-to-block clip, if you so desire to do that, to be able to fight these blue Lambolas. I think my advice to Sharky in this kind of room... Oh, we got it. I was going to say, my advice would be to go back to the Red Gurry room, get 8 bombs, and then try and get your bomb drops time to where you can kill some of the enemies. But now he's going to get a free look at the item.
He gets rewarded with silvers.
So that's definitely required, and that's... I think if you asked a lot of the veteran runners in the community, the left-side Lambola room is probably one of the worst things to run into in the randomizer, because there really isn't a good tech to be able to fight in that doorway. If you're on low hearts, you don't have much of any chance to survive it.
Sharky pulls it off somehow, though. Props to him.
Looks like we have a level 3 find for UA. I'm not sure exactly where he found it, but it looks like it'll be Lionel infested.
He just checked the coast item, so somewhere in that area.
And down he goes to the Lionel beam. Looks like Zol's rolled down, so you can kill them with the sword beam, or a sword if you don't have beams. So it sounds like Monocle Rock may have been our location for the level 3.
See if Unknown stays in here or elects to leave.
I think you gotta keep going, but I wouldn't try and clear this room. I would just use the laggy frames to be able to get through it without having to fight them. This will potentially have your map because it's likely to fall early in the dungeon before any doors are blocked by, say, bomb walls and the like.
Well, Sharky back into digging for his item.
Yeah, I don't particularly like this dig on Sharky's side just because he hasn't manufactured bombs before entering. And now he finally got a bomb, but it looks like he's leaving, which is not good. He's going to run into the magical sword cave.
Unknown almost getting those Lionels, but take a beam to the face.
Yeah, just not sure I would commit to this room even with a high chance of the map. If we want to commit to this room, I think my strategy would be to go ahead and kill 1 or 2 of them and exit the room. Up A, get your beams back, go back in, rinse, repeat until you've whittled the room down to no red Lionels.
Yeah, maybe just a case of lack of knowledge. I learned that recently, so...
Yeah, that's why I enjoy doing commentary on these races, like breaking down some of the decisions made, how they can be improved upon in future races, and that way the runner kind of learns a little bit quicker some of the tactics that some of the runners at the top end of the spectrum use.
Sharky finds out why we refer to it as death armos.
So this likely is the item in 3. I was going to say, I don't know that we necessarily have to be clipping this if we're not too comfortable with fighting that, or getting to that location with the Lionel in the middle. And there's the... Yeah, there's the last of the overworld exploration items, so Unknownavailability is in overworld go mode as far as being able to access all 9 dungeons.
just as a reminder for those new to the tournament, there will be one level that is behind a block, so as Fury said, we can access them all, no matter what.
Yeah, we're about to the point as commentators where we get our knowledge go mode. We're just looking for the location of the bow, and the other item that could be required in most seeds would be the ladder. But it's not a guarantee to be required in every seed. I don't mind too much what Sharky is doing here. He's getting some of his overworld checks knocked out, and as you do that, you're going to find your way into some of the take-any ones that are on the overworld. Some can be blocked, but it's very rare to have more than 1 or 2 blocked in the first quest overworld layout.
Unknown finds the Triforce level 3 behind Aquamentus' room. And I agree. Maybe Sharky can find, a lower level dungeon like 1. Get 2 items.
Yeah, in Sharky's specific situation, I think that even a level 1 that has the heart container from the coast pushed into it is one that would be ideal for him, just because on 3 hearts he knows that he can start looking at that red ring at as early as 4 hearts, but if you get 2 hearts at a level 1, that would put you at 5 and put you at a 66% chance to get it. And I think that's probably pretty prominent on his mind given the overworld and dungeon deaths so far. With this screen, once you allow the red dark nuts to come over towards the ladder, you're basically never going to be able to go up on this screen, so you have to reset the screen and take advantage of the limited amount of time before they get over there and block you off. Unknown should have the flute. He may have retried out of it by accident, but it's free on the overworld, and I know he knows where it's at.
Does find level 5 though.
Yep, that qualifies as an overworld block as well. It was underneath the power bracelet in the desert. The reason why the runners refer to that as in the desert is because the hint shop will also, or the hints, if you play with helpful hints, I should say, will refer to that screen as a desert shop, even though it's not technically a desert. Yeah, unfortunately, UA may have retried out of his flute, so it'll only be a huge deal if he runs into a dig dart block deep in a dungeon, blocking, say, a staircase or progression. It'll make him sad, but he'll be able to go back and get it.
Yeah, he knows where it's at. If he absolutely wants it, he knows where to find it.
And this map of level 5 is showing us that there's not really a lot of linear aspects to it. You at least have a 2-room spread for the majority of this dungeon, so should be able to work our way around key blocks, some ladder blocks, maybe even some combat blocks. So overall, not the worst type of dungeon to see light up on your map. Sharky really wants to get over to his Triforce, but needs to kill this Aquamentus, and it's a long run in, and unfortunately he's going to die here. This maze room is a potential staircase. Could be a staircase to transport you closer to the Triforce, or it might be the item. And I think the more standard play nowadays is to actually take the staircase and go ahead and knock out both sides so that you know what room you're not going to have to clear on the other side. In this case, it's a bit unfortunate because we walked straight into a Patra ready to take his life, but at least now he has knowledge that if he runs across that room on natural progression, he's not going to have to clear it. Given we have not seen our staircase item to this point, I think my suggestion would be to go ahead and bomb open that left wall, because we know now it's going to open since we have the transport staircase sorted out. Looks like, oh no, instead it's going to go down into the southeast and try and knock out the rooms down here. And I think it's worthwhile to clear any of these combat rooms that you feel comfortable clearing, because you'll be able to refund your keys. Might find the heart container in this dungeon that's on the floor, which would put Unknown at 4. Give you a little bit more health cushion.
Yeah, heart container is definitely at a premium right now with the amount of deaths we've seen. Speaking of which,
looks like Sharky has now found his way to the raft, which is in its vanilla location, level 3. I think
so would start at where it's supposed to be, a raft in level 3. Is this even randomized?
well, if that's the case, I would start looking for one pretty quickly here.
Get that bone going, go move.
We know some things have randomized because the ladder's not level 4, something else of significant use is.
Patch not being very nice today.
Again, I would just be using my bombs to open up areas that we know have to open, because we don't have the staircase item yet out of this dungeon. I think Unknown's strategy looks to be to go the quickest route to the Triforce and just try and make it there and hope that your items along the way.
Sharky showing his frustrations with the double Aquamanus block, but finally gets his Triforce. So we're not really too far apart here. Both have Triforces out of 2 and 3 and have done some exploration. Sharky does have the benefit of having the silvers.
Yep, the advantage on the other side is Unknown has access to level 5 because he has the power bracelet that Sharky did not find in level 2 due to bombs.
Yeah, so still a close race here. Be interesting. UA finds the letter in vanilla level 1. See if he opens up the potions. Instead finds 6.
Yep, this is a bit of a nasty dungeon so far, given the Wizrose, but this Aquamentus could be guarding a staircase. And we have an all book, basically. Meaning we get maps of every dungeon now.
I don't know if Sharky's happy to find it or not. He tried to burn it. But yeah, the book will be a huge boon, like you said. Having all the maps to all the dungeons. But how about this map of 6?
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting shape. I've seen this dungeon like to be left aligned, so it's kind of interesting that's starting in the bottom right and going all the way to the top left as opposed to kind of lining down one side.
Rough walking into a room and getting bodied by a blue whiz robe.
Yeah, I'll be honest here, I don't find this to be a very profitable decision long term to dig this 6 at this point. Mostly because the red ring is, again, the white sword item, and Sharky does have that knowledge. But we found the Triforce is actually really easy to get to, so never mind that.
That's kind of a lucky gamble. I would have tended to decide with what you said. Get the item, get out, come back when you have more defense and combat.
Yeah, there's a reasonable chance here that if Unknown burns this key, he's also going to have a very quick 6, so both runners actually get bailed out by a very free level 6, even though it had a Wizrobe set.
Won't complain about that. Unknown up to 5 hearts now. It'll be interesting to see when he decides to check red ring.
Yeah, well, Unknown has to find it as far as I know. He has not been down to the south coast and bombed it yet. Unfortunately, Unknown, this is pretty common for even veteran runners, is if you're trying to make a tight turn to get on that screen scroll on that screen, sometimes you cut it too short and you end up going back to the other side. You have to cut it fairly close to accurate, otherwise you end up going too far so that you can't keep going across to the next screen. Thankfully, this Death Mountain any road will allow you to kind of get around this, and I'm thinking Unknown's probably going to go ahead and clear some up here, as 38 minutes in, Sharky finally has a 4th heart painter.
Meanwhile, Sharky with some good moves to get into the forgotten spot. Gets rewarded with a large secret. An unknown. Didn't see which dungeon that was.
Level 9 is one spot east of second quest level 9. Sharky gets heart container number 5. I think on the next overworld death, we'll see Sharky kind of venture off towards the south coast. See if that red ring is available at 5.
Yeah, quadrupling your defense would be huge at this point. I consider buying a key here, and he does.
And Unknown has secured the bait, so if we see a bait block that's kind of in our way, whether it's required or not, they'll have a way around it.
Sharky's gonna check vanilla level 6, but it's gonna be interesting getting out of it. Darknets never like to cooperate. It's a good move.
Yeah, so the way you can work your way off of that screen is Sharky gets heart container number 6, and we'll see it, I think, the up A and save right now, probably. Maybe?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting for it. Didn't save, but I guess it doesn't matter yet. And Unknown has gotten rid of all of their rupees pretty much at this point. Now has a potion in hand as well.
It seems Sharky is making a beeline for the coast.
Yeah, if you're struggling in combat and you don't feel like you've made the progression you should in the first 40 minutes because of it, then there's no sense in beating around the bush and trying to finish off overworld clearing. Just go take care of getting your defense and save it, and then go back to what you're trying to accomplish when you were getting bopped around by Wizrobes. And Guria's on the dungeon side, along with Lionel's as well.
See if we get a rat check here. Just money. Sharky headed back into 4. This time equipped with a red ring. I definitely take care of this room with Gria's having 1 hit from a wood sword. Meanwhile, Unknown gets his 6th heart, but he still doesn't know about the red ring yet, so when he finds it, he'll be able to pick it up.
Yep. And with the local tracking on their side, I think they'll be able to narrow down where the white sword item is without too much effort.
Unknown sneaks into the power bracelet spot and finds 7. So that's 2 levels we had behind power bracelet spots in this seed.
Doesn't look like Unknown's particularly interested in diving too deep in there yet.
Yeah, don't blame him. 7 being as big as it is.
Well, the good news is Unknown's going to get pushed back towards start where the red ring is on the coast. The bad news is we still need bombs to be able to get to it.
Sharky finds his Triforce in 4, but we'll see if he wants to dig for the item or not.
Well, he does have the silver, so it's probably unlikely he's going to go back in there with that in mind, but it's interesting to note that it was Dig Dogger blocked, so if Unknown doesn't get there with the recorder in hand, they're going to be a little bit distraught with where that location is for the Triforce.
So are we just missing level 1, I think?
Yes, and we have access to it between the two runners, but we have not seen it yet.
Perhaps where was 8?
Perhaps we haven't seen 8 either. I don't remember if it was something we saw really early or not.
These dark nets being on the overworld is presenting quite the problem.
Yeah, it looks like Unknown's just trying to farm some bombs up here. Trying to kill off the dark nuts so that they can have some access to some bomb spots.
Not sure if Unknown did it or not, but Sharky's gonna check recorded lake here.
Yep, while the recorder is required, it appears it will not be required for the overworld, just for the dungeon Triforce.
I forgot Unknown hadn't picked up the flute, so I don't think he had checked it. But Sharky does find level 1.
Sharky, try to take this patcher down. It's going to take a little while, it looks like, to whittle it down, but with Red Ring, it's certainly possible.
It's a little too close, but if not, he was doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think Unknown's going to find their way to this level 1 shortly. They are in the Dead Woods and they got a fairy refill, so I'm pretty confident they'll be able to get there.
Meanwhile, Sharky deciding, I'm going to go right instead and see what I can find over here.
Yeah, so far the seat has not been super trolly in how it's set up. It's just set up in a way that the runners can't get through the dungeons too easily based on combat blocks. Worth noting, ooh, we have an item, it's the wand.
It'll help Sharky do a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, he has the book already, so he'll have to watch out for fire.
Yep, the trick to not burning yourself as often is to go ahead and fire at, or go ahead and use it as a blunt object and then turn away as you use it with your B button. And that way you'll turn around as you hit the enemy in front of you, and the fire will go behind you, and you just keep flinging it behind you instead of having to deal with it right in front of you. So that'd be the tactic you could use on the Patrick coming up here soon. I think that Sharky's going to have to go back and fight that Patrick at some point.
Unknown finding the wand as well. And a funny turn of events, after you find the wand, you have to battle some Wizrobes, which you can't damage with the wand. Does clear, gets a heart container though.
Yep, and again, that could be the floor heart, or it could be the heart that's normally on the coast. We'll find out if there's a second heart container seen in here.
Just had a high five there as Unknown's in the same room. He's going to get a heart container as well for his efforts.
Yep, Sharky keeps finding these red Wizrobes. The good news is you can easily fight these guys in these rooms just by staying in the top doorway. If you kind of inch down just barely into the room, they'll always spawn directly below you as opposed to spawning to the left and to the right. This is a room where a wand would be quite useful, because you're taking far less swipes to kill each Pole's voice. Did he quite grab that key, or did he just leave it on the ground?
Didn't hear the pickup. Might have left it. Sharky looking to fight this Patra. With him being on the left side, he probably should have gone to the right side to avoid him, but...
Yep, Sharky now knows where the old man in level 1 is, though he tried to bomb down in the C column in the act word, and it would not open. And the rules of level 1 state that you should be able to get into every room unless it's blocked by either a right-hand staircase, Zelda's room, or an old man room. Sharky now getting the right idea with the wand. Got fairly lucky there not to kill the Patrobe responsible for the expanding and contracting of the Patro the first time around. He did the second time, but he did so much damage to all the Patrobes that it ended up working out.
See if we get a full item here. This is a Triforce.
I would not take that Triforce until you leave the room. Once you leave the room, the Patro won't respawn, so that's the trick there.
He does find the compass, which is useless since he knows where the Triforce is at, but I'd probably keep digging for that full item.
Yeah, if you're gonna burn something, you burn the compass there because that trolls you. I think the one thing I would do is I'd probably take the Triforce now since you're in this room. It's kind of going to be out of your way to come back to. And then re-enter and try and go left. Oh, hey.
The boat. We find it in Unknown side.
Yeah, we call that more or less French vanilla because it's not quite vanilla, but it's close enough.
And Sharky finds it as well. Not too pleased he didn't check earlier, but he'll pick it up.
And the old man was a bomb upgrade in this scene. Sharky would be able to afford it if he were to walk over to that room, but I can understand not checking it.
Yeah, I think Sharky's just going to leave. He's probably just marking his tracker right now.
Unknown does not know where this Triforce is, so he's going to go down to this room. And he should know that this room at this point is not going to be a drop room. If not, then hopefully on the rewatch he'll know that it's not, but it looks like Unknownavailability does know, so they'll leave. I feel like it's only a matter of time before Unknownavailability does knock out that coast check, and once that happens, I think it'll be game on. To answer the question in chat, they do not know where the red ring is at. They have not checked the cave that's responsible for holding it in the seed.
Sharky found it early, got up to 6 and made a beeline for it, but yeah, UA doesn't.
Unknownavailability uses a little trick with the fairy fountain. If you start the fairy refill and then you up A and get back into the game in time, you'll be able to get your refill to continue going as you spawn back into the game. And they get the recorder back now, so now they can flute around to previously beaten dungeons.
Interesting side note that Sharky still doesn't have his bracelet and we know 2 dungeons are behind it. We'll see how that plays out later in the seed.
Yeah, we're going to find level 8, I think, by virtue of not having the power bracelet on Sharky's side. So he'll find that first, and we'll eliminate the last of the dungeons we don't know. But then Sharky's going to have to redig some things, and that's where the interesting decisions will be. I think Sharky is probably going to take the smallest dungeon out first, which would net him the power bracelet and allow him to continue on.
And we have Super Manhandler.
Yeah, unfortunately this just eats away at your bombs, and with it not being anything more than perhaps a Triforce, I think I would probably pick a different spot to start this dig. Now this Lamola room, if you can manipulate them away from the door, is not nearly as difficult with the wand, because the wand now has the fire, and this is one of the rare rooms where wand fire is super beneficial.
I think your best bet there is reset the room and try to get him in a favorable position and sneak over the block.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that moving left and right inside the doorway and just out of reach is enough to kind of reset their pattern and make them change their route a little bit. Question in chat is, what's guarding the power bracelet? It's 3 Dodongos, and Sharky fed the Dodongos each 2 bombs and ran out because he only had 5.
Yeah, he actually got trolled. He had one stunned and he was going to smoke the other one and it came and ate his bomb.
Correct. Unknown's going to find a Dig Dogger here. If he clears this Dig Dogger, he'll get his Triforce, which would then give him a refill. If you get the refill, then you almost certainly have to go back and try that Landmolar room, because we know it's a potential push block.
Looks like he's going to do so. He's setting up the bomb and fluting.
And there's the Triforce. Got a ferry, so I think we'll check a few more rooms here, but most definitely want to go back to that one room we were just in. I think what's going to happen is the Unknown's going to use this 7 hearts worth of health to continue digging this dungeon, and then once they have cleared most of the rooms they can get to, or end up dying, they'll probably go back, get their Triforce refill, and head back towards that one room with the silvers in it.
Meanwhile, Unknown discovering that, yep, we're ladder blocked. So I think the only way is to use a key going up, but with only 2 keys, he might just pick a Triforce and leave.
We have full health. I really think this is the best time, basically in this entire seed, to go back to that Landmolar room, and it looks like that's what's happening here. I like this play a lot. If you go in and just go for it, there's almost no way they're going to kill you in time, so you just beat them with the wand. Oh no, he's going for the push block and running to the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, just go in, stand there, and just beat on them, because you're going to get some iframes from hitting them to where they won't be able to damage you. So just standing still and attacking that room is actually the best way to go ahead and efficiently clear it without losing all your health.
Alternatively, he could go get the Triforce. It'll reset him back here and he can come give it another shot.
Well, he got him reset across the room, so now he's got one down to just the last piece.
He gets it.
Yep, didn't even need any health refills. Look at that. Alright, so bow and silvers now for UA. They have a chance to go ahead and combat through some Goma blocks and also be able to take out the Pulse Voice much quicker. Generally speaking, combat's just going to be easier in a lot of non-Wizrobe dungeons because you're going to have the ability to kill just about anything in them. 76 rupees is enough to make good progress with the silvers without burning through it all too quickly. So now we really want to see Unknown go down to the southeast from here.
I think he's listening to you.
Yeah, I think he was looking at his tracker and realizing that he had some spots over here, including this power bracelet spot. I don't know, the Sharky can't see this spot, so will this be a third dungeon? This is level 8, so 3 power bracelet blocks. Sharky can't see any of the remaining dungeons because he doesn't have it.
It'd be interesting to see how long it takes him to figure out that this is what he has to do. Find the power bracelet.
Yeah, unfortunately for Unknown, It's actually kind of the worst thing to see because it means Sharky's gonna dig level 2 a lot quicker now and go find his power bracelet, whereas if level 8 was readily available, look how big that is. It would take him a long time to get through that. On top of that, Unknown is literally 2 screens away from the red ring. There's a tremendous chance that he goes through this dungeon and burns through some bombs and may not have the bombs to go bomb that coast when it comes time to. And I'm not convinced we're ladder blocked in the sea yet, so if we find a Triforce here, it might be worthwhile to just leave and kind of play the go mode strategy for a little while longer. In that case, Unknown saw that there's a bomb on the floor, cycled over to the bomb, and went ahead and used that as an additional combat, and picked it up, knowing that they would be back to full capacity.
I like this play to check this bottom right room. Nothing worse than clearing a dungeon and it's something early, close to start you could have done.
And here comes the dig back into 2 by Sharky. They have 0 bombs, though. And we know that bombs are absolutely required. There's the compass for unknown availability. They're going to go and try and get there, I think. And with the key on the floor, I'm certain they'll burn a key now and go up. Will this be our ladder location? We know by process of elimination this can be ladder. Ladder has to be locked by a power bracelet dungeon.
It is just a heartbeat, it'll pick it up. Doesn't hurt.
I'm not sure, do we just go through a staircase here, or what sent Unknown back here, I wonder. Maybe a death? Or a ladder block?
Yeah, if I'm Sharky here, I'm probably just up-aing. Spend too much time waiting for these areas to come down.
So will this be our transport, or will it be the second item for Unknown? Looks like it's going to be the transport. Gonna opt not to take it, which I think is a bit of an interesting decision. I definitely think you want to secure a route to this Triforce at minimum. We have the other side of the transport, perhaps? Or...
Doesn't want to find out. He just wants to get his Triforce.
Interesting decision there.
Gabe throws a Gleeok at him anyway.
Well, as long as it's not the ladder, it's not a huge deal, so... We'll continue on and see if we find out where the ladder's being locked up at. Sharky, meanwhile, still doesn't have bombs, and that's kind of the biggest struggle for him right now. I think once he gets bombs, he can progress through the rest of the seed.
Yeah, he's probably searching for a bomb shop right now, checking his tracker to find out where he can buy them.
Unfortunately, Unknown is flitting away from the coast. He was 2 screens away, but I think he has all of his dungeons now found. So my guess is Unknown's is heading towards level 7, probably.
Meanwhile, Sharky has his 8 bombs. He's gonna hopefully find his power bracelet in here. Decides to fight the Gleeok and gets a heart container.
Sharky unfortunately picked the wrong room to clear that Dawn goes out of. He's going to have to get pretty lucky with his bomb in this room. He's only got 1. And unfortunately does not hit it, so... Going to be back to farming bombs in the overworld to go ahead and clear that room. And this is a bit of an odd decision by Sharky. He knows where level 4 is and that there's Red Gorilla literally screens in, so... If you're farming for bombs, I would think that screen's way more favorable to be able to get your bomb drops than fighting this single blue Octorok, since you're going to have to cycle around 1 blue Octo at a time to get back there.
Especially since Red Gorilla is only 1 hit with the Wood Sword. He may have just forgotten though.
Here's the level 7 dig for unknown. They're hoping it's going to be ladder. It's got a chance to be ladder, as we know there's only 2 dungeons, well, 3 dungeon items left that could be that ladder.
Luckily he's able to bomb out of that manhandler room.
And this bait block is definitely a convenience bait block. I doubt it's going to be logically required, although this is actually kind of a room that could force it.
Yeah, unless you can come in from the top, you're gonna have a bait block here.
Not confirmed bait block, but that's interesting. I would not be overly surprised to see Unknown just bail here, go to level 5 or level 1 and try and get this seed over with without the ladder. Yeah, at minimum, it's certainly a convenience bait block. Sharky's way of going about this Dodongo combat's not been all that spectacular. You've really got to wait until one of them gets in a position where it's by itself, and then you set it up with the first bomb and take it out with the second. Just time it right. And because he's kind of letting the Dodongos dictate their own movement and just waits and not long enough to kind of allow them time to separate, he's getting trolled by him.
Unfortunately, he's out of money, so he can't buy bomb packs anymore. He's gonna have to farm them on the overworld.
Yeah, and Unknown's also making a small error here. He's prioritizing dungeons, which is fine, but he's left the one thing that could be his go mode at this point. In any other seed, this white sword item might not be red ring, but instead it could be the ladder, which would then put him in absolute go mode.
I'm surprised with the amount of unexplored tiles he has in the bottom right that he's not headed that direction.
So the mistake that he's going to learn from is always make sure you knock out your white sword item. Because if you go an hour and 20 minutes in the seed and you find your white sword item and it's something super important, then you're going to feel really silly for allowing it to go that long. And I think he's finally going to prioritize some of his overworld and make sure that the white sword item isn't something that's stopping him from finishing the seed. And in a way, it kind of is preventing him, because combat's been a little bit of a problem, just because of the dungeon setup and inexperience. That being said, Unknown is kind of not going the direction of that coast anymore. He's going the direction of, I think, 5.
I mean, your hair, little parts. Good choice.
Alright. We don't know what this item is. There is a bomb wall to the left here that has not been checked to this point. I don't know if we tried to bomb up even. I know that we can't progress up naturally here because of a T-room still. So you have to at least try to bomb something here. That's gotta be the thought process. Make sure that you're not blocked out of being able to progress without going through the stair. And here comes the bombs. Here we go. Sharky now gets the Dodongo room taken care of and finds the power bracelet that's blocking every other dungeon, so Sharky's now back in this.
Making use of the silver arrows and just taking down the rhinos.
Yeah, at 60 rupees you have enough money to get through the majority of these rooms and the remainder of these dungeons without running out.
Zelda's room, wow.
So that Patra room that we were getting trolled by earlier is absolutely the only way to go. So you have to take the staircase to get up to that area.
Now we are segmented.
So we're going up here, which is a Patra, nothing particularly useful. That is Zelda's room, unfortunately, so won't be able to bomb around there. You've got another room to your left that could be your item. It will not be the item. So now there's only one room left in this bottom segment, and it's all the way in the other prong, just 2 down and 1 left.
Meanwhile, Sharky's deciding to look in 8, which is a lot bigger than trying to find your item in... Oh, he did find his item in 2.
Yep. He can't get to 8 without the item in 2, so he definitely got the item in 2. Alright, Unknown has to duck down here in a hurry with his Patra. The only bomb wall you have is up, so you just have to wait it out. This is where patience is required. Now the easiest trick, though, is still to block clip into the left side here.
Getting some iframes, though.
Yeah, the lag caused by the fire actually helped him hit the timing on that. There's a pretty good chance he'll combat this down. He's unfortunately attacking from the bottom side, which negates one of your hits from actually hitting, and he hit the Patrobe responsible for whether or not the expanding and contracting continues, so bad timing, unfortunately.
Yeah, if he had his red ring, it would definitely help him. Being stuck with original green tunic is really hurting him here.
So, gonna get the bomb, gonna probably Fairy Fountain go back in. Would that be the likely play here? Not sure where this is gonna go. Let's see. Goes to level 4. So this would mean this goes to 6 now. And this would lead you towards 7. And then 8 would be last up here. Well, looks like we're stopping there. So maybe walking the path back to 1? Oh, we still have this spot available. Well, that's convenient.
Sharky takes down a Patra and gets rewarded with a Chevy room without a ladder.
Alright, here comes the one play. Patra is not particularly difficult to answer the question in chat, as long as it's not got Beamos in the room, so it doesn't really much matter the style of Patra. I actually prefer, when I have the offense and defense, to go with the expanding Patra just because the circle's a little bit smaller, so it's easier to get all your bops in. If you have very limited offense and defense, then the gyro version where it's kind of spinning as opposed to expanding and contracting is a little bit more favorable. Aha, we see why Unknown got turned around in this room earlier.
Sharky does find his heart innate, but he's might be digging or he might be heading for the Triforce. We'll see what decision he makes here.
Let's see what...
Gonna try a block flip there and decided, you know what, I'll just burn him down with my wand.
Alright, so that staircase, by the way, that Unknown passed up on earlier was the second item. So it's going to be particularly awful if it's like White Sword, any key, or ladder. If by some chance it's the banana, it's not nearly as devastating, because it's not required to beat the seed, and it's not like a huge boost to your combat or your ability to go through all the rooms in the seed. The game tried to punch Sharky through the lower door there, because that's where he needs to go for his item. He's intent on clearing these keys out, though.
I don't think he's going for the Triforce. I think he's looking for his other item.
Aw, he almost went through the door to the item, and now he's going to go to the shutter door. If it trolls him, it's going to be a sad time. Yep. Should have gone through it. He was almost through it. He just decided to turn around at the last possible frame. Unknown's trying to clear every other room that's not this Patra, but I think he knows by now, by default, it has to be. It's either that room or the room after the Patra. You have to clear it either way. I guess UA saw it. I didn't see it on his screen, but maybe it was just an unfortunate time where I didn't have connection.
Fortunately, Sharky's going to take another death to this Patra here. As well as Unknown. It's like Sharky's taking your advice and deciding to double bomb these Dodongos.
Yeah, unfortunately, it goes right back into the room that was blocked before with the ladder, so we'll have to go back to that staircase he saw. Unknown appears to be giving up on that Patra fight. So the question is now, where will he go? Looks like gonna check some overworld spots, so we have promise here.
But the game doesn't like his decision.
It's telling him that's the wrong one of the overworld spots to check, go the other ones. The red ring is on the coast, but it's on the south coast, so Unknown has probably another 8 or 9 screens left before he gets there.
He's gonna check this raft spot and find a secret of money.
Sharky, unfortunately, is going up in this level 8.
He's still looking for his item though. He's not heading straight for the Triforce, so we know it is one down and one left of the Triforce, so when he checks it, we'll find out what it is.
Alright, here we are. Unknown's now potentially going down here. Goes down one more screen and bombs. There's going to be a reaction on his side.
He's getting them ready. There we go.
Hooray. I see cooked Patra in our future.
Yeah, he's whistling. He's going straight for it.
Looks like Sharky is going to get forced down into the south door, or he's going to take the Triforce, one or the other.
Oh, he's so close and he doesn't know it.
Well, he sees it on his map right there. He didn't look at that room, so he knows it's there. He just did.
I meant the other item. He's like one room away. All he has to do is go down.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He looked at his map, and that room exists on his map, but it doesn't exist on what he's completed.
He walked through it like unknown without checking it.
Actually, he found a completely different path and just never went there. Because the staircase takes you to the east side of this Gliok fight. So as long as the item in 8 is not the ladder, it should be Unknown that's ahead. If it's the ladder and we're ladder blocked, we're in for a long ride here still, because I don't think Sharky's got that room tracked as a room he can get to at the moment. It just feels that way because he hasn't looked in there. And Sharky is going to go the long way walk back to this Triforce room. Alright, instead of an effective 5 hearts, Unknown now has an effective, well, goes from 6 to 24 effectively.
Should be plenty to take down Apache.
It's still not an easy fight if you just go in there and kind of go wild with it like this, but if you could get a couple of them down before kind of going ham in here, you would be able to finish this pretty easily, I think.
It is locked into its pattern of expanding and contracting, and let's see if you can get through it.
Yeah, this is the reason why you don't usually want to go on the right side, because at the end of the third contraction of the Patra, what happens is the Patrobe responsible, or the master Patrobe that dictates whether or not the cycle continues, lands on that side more often than not. So ideally, you just want to let it stop doing that pattern entirely, and once it stops, you can go ahead and hit it, and it won't go into it unless you kind of hit the wrong Patrobe again, in which case it'll expand a little bit early, but it won't break it. Long story short, your odds of it happening if you let it complete its 3 cycles and then go back to attacking it is far, far, far less likely to troll. Alright.
So Sharky knows he has to check power reset spots, so that's what he's doing now.
Yep, now this is the best time to go ahead and just all in on this Patra, because you're going to get some good swipes in here. Yeah, he didn't attack it as it finished its 3rd cycle, so now he's going to get a whole bunch of these Patrobes down. And the cycle is no longer going to happen because he killed the one that it checks to be able to expand and contract, so now we've got it.
You can't use arrows in Petra.
Well, it'd be nice. Maybe just a little bit of a frustration shot. Looking at it, saying, you got this one eye on the bottom, why not?
Expressing his frustrations on the Triforce, but he is at 7, so just gotta dip into 5, and he'll be on his way.
Yep, which is guarded by another Patra. Just not the Triforce itself, perhaps, but the room that you need to get through is. So, let's see, we had wand and bow in here. We've had both items. I'm not oh, bomb upgrade. Duh. And +6 for that price is a bargain. Alright, so probably fluting to level 4 would be the fastest. We'll put you 3 or 4 screens away from the Desert Armos, or Desert Push Block, which is where the level 5 is.
Yeah, I thought he knew they were all behind push blocks, but he was still checking caves. But fortunately, he does find 5 here.
I see a potential bait block getting stabbed here or burned here momentarily. Oh, he has the bait. I didn't see him purchase it. Well, that's good news.
And he gets rewarded and get his Triforce right away.
I thought for certain that he hadn't picked it up yet and he was going to be a little agitated. Instead, gets a little bit of a chuckle at that whole location. Now, if I'm in Unknown shoes here, after getting to the other side of this Patra and bombing through it, I think I would be inclined to go ahead and finish looking at the rest of the rooms in the north. Just because you only would have, what, 6 rooms after that Patra kill? One of which has to be your item. And we again are looking for the ladder potentially. Yeah, you don't have to kill this guy, you can just go. Goodbye, Petra.
I think if you don't find the item in here, well, maybe here.
White sword, we'll take it.
I think you just go to 9 anyway and see if you get ladder blocked or not.
Oh yeah. At this point, you gamble on ladder not being required. And I will 100% be playing the seed to see if that staircase unknown passed up is the actual ladder. Alrighty, here comes the potential for a ladder block or a ladderless seed. I'm hoping, based on the trolliness of the combat in this seed, that it's just a freebie and there is no ladder blocking our way.
Yeah, plus it's not too often you see seeds completed without the ladder, so kind of rooting for that.
So, at this point we're looking for a shutter door that doesn't open upon completing the room, clearing it. Unless we have Ganon down, in which case one that opens before you clear it would be what you're after. Secondly, we're looking for a roar when we don't have a boss in the room. So this whole side seems to be a bit of a bust for Unknown. There's just one staircase over here and not a whole lot else. Sharky's going to find Zelda's room and realize we're forced through a staircase here shortly. The old man over here going to confirm the bad news. Fairly certain Sharky knows which room he has to go back to. Yeah, the staircase that takes us up to the northeast side of this dungeon. So still living as far as open rooms go without a ladder block. This room is kind of interesting. It does have a shutter in the southern portion of the room. It looks like Unknown's gonna resort to wand and white sword, and it is Zelda. So there's part of the puzzle. Worth noting that any room that Ganon happens to spawn in will be completable without a ladder. You have to know how to put Ganon in the right spot to be able to kill him in certain situations, as we hear the roar. So we can hear him, and we know which room he is in by default. He's in the L column, 2 rooms south of where Unknown is now. So if you can bomb down in that staircase room he took, you'll get there. Sharky, meanwhile, finds his white sword in level 5 and should be off to that Triforce shortly.
I think Unknown thinks he might be here to the right. Finds out he can't be.
Nope, I think he's just going for the bomb wall here. If this bombs, we have a chance. It does not. So there's another route to Ganon. We're probably going to have to go back to start and try and find a different way down there. Looks like Sharky's going to be on his way to 9 now, though, shortly.
Hey, do you know what time Unknown entered?
Not exactly, but I think it was probably with about 4 minutes ago.
So depending on the choices Sharky makes, this is still pretty close. Unfortunately, Unknown has a lot of knowledge that Sharky doesn't, so it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, can we bomb up in this room? If we can, we're 1 room away. We are 1 room away. Is this a ladder block? No. Ganon's room. What does Ganon have? A desert room. It's fine. Yep, now it just comes down to Ganon's strategies. Going to the corner a little bit higher than this is actually preferable. You will get hugged here quite often. So if you're looking for an easy-ish strategy for fighting Ganon, 1 tile up from where he's at, roughly, would be a little bit better. He got pushed up by Ganon, so it'll work out. If I were Unknown, I'd go right in this room and see if there's a direct path. Is there a direct path? No. You can't bomb in, so take the staircase back to where you know. The Sharky, by virtue of just going up here, by the way, is actually going to get really close to finding Ganon, and may actually fight Ganon before Unknown finds out whether or not we're ladder blocked.
Don't know if he's going to spend his key, though. Doesn't even pick up the one that he found.
Well, he looks in the next room, sees it's a turnstile. I don't know that you should be bombing this wall because you know you can go right at start. So that's one you'd like to have back, probably. Should almost certainly go up here, though, and he will. Now, what he won't probably do is go up again through the bomb wall. Alright, moment of truth. Is Zelda in a double moat room? Is she in a circle moat room, a Chevy, or none of the above? Pointless moat. Get your GGs out. 150-52. Sharky's kind of off on an adventure now, but I don't really blame him for missing the location of Zelda or Ganon in this situation, because he would have to go ahead and bomb into the next room above, and you wouldn't do that without knowing.
Yeah, no real point in wasting bombs when you have open doors to explore.
Yep. I believe we're joined by Unknownavailability. GG's.
Hello, hello. I'm shaking. I'm not gonna lie.
What went through your mind at roughly, let's say, the 1:30 mark when you found the South Coast cave that had the red ring?
I knew that the level 2 sword item was out there, and I'm like, please be the ring, and not the ladder. Because I was just banking on the ladder not being needed the entire time. I was go moding it the whole time, and after running into the Patras and just getting wrecked by them multiple times, I'm like, alright, there are 3 quick spots I can check after a save and quit, and then checking that cave, seeing the red ring, I was like, either my opponent has this extremely early, and this is going to help them a lot more than it's going to help me right now, or, oh crap, this is going to be really good for me to get to level 9 fast, so...
Yeah, Sharky had it, I would say closer to the 50-minute mark, so it wasn't a super early situation. I think he had 3 hearts for quite a bit longer than you had 3 hearts, if I remember correctly. I think he had 3 until you got to 5, and then he suddenly climbed up to 6.
Right, I wasn't, I was only dungeon hunting. I was, because I got a lot of the overworld blocks really fast, and I was able to beat that first dungeon. The fact that sword was vanilla was great, so literally go up, go into 2. I got the bracelet out of 2. Bracelet blocked, what, 2 dungeons? 3 actually, 8, 5, and 7. And yeah, just I was actually mad at myself, but not mad at myself for grabbing the book, because I'm glad I had the maps, but the book kept doing me in because of the fire, and I kept missing my turnarounds, so it kept causing me to get knocked back into the Patra and die. So that was frustrating, but yeah, I got a lot of the overworld blocks super fast with the fact that I got the power bracelet like right out the gate. So
Yep. In the meantime, not even close to Sharky as he goes down to half a heart and then full stun locks Ganon the rest of the way. So he got into 9 probably at the 148 mark, so about 5 minutes after you did. Also does not have the ladder. We're pretty sure you walked past the staircase with the ladder in 8 going to the Triforce. There's a chance it's in 7 somewhere as well. What's the other item we don't have? But
okay. What was in 5?
White sword.
Oh, I didn't mark that, right. I picked it up, I just didn't mark it. Sorry. Yep. I was happy to see that. I was like, hey, cool, I don't have to worry about Wood Sword Ganon.
Yep, so we're hoping now that Sharky basically gets bodied by a Lionel and goes back to the start and goes right. That will get him there the fastest, I think. And I'm certain that you were happy to see that the pointless moat room was the moat room that Zelda was in at the end there.
Right, yeah, that was very... I wasn't sure because I've never ran across that. I was kind of freaked out. I was like, oh no, please tell me that this moat room isn't going to stop me. Because I've said it through the entire, this entire Swiss, that I'm very new to this, so there's a lot of stuff that I still haven't experienced yet, and I was unsure if the ladder was needed for even that moat room, so I was like, oh, please let me get to Zelda.
Sharky down to 2 keys. I don't think he needs another key as long as he eventually goes south through that shutter door. I believe the right-hand staircase there takes you 2 away, and then there's just a manhandler guarding the Zelda. But yeah, there were a couple of interesting points in this. I think the reason why Sharky just could not get going was the Dodongos in 2. I don't think he ever really had a good time with them. I think he went down to 0 bombs fighting Dodongos in level 2. I want to say 4 times I saw it happen.
And bombs weren't really that cheap either. They were, what, 36?
Yeah, he had a bit of a... I think he got flustered at some point because level 2 and level 4 are right next to each other, and level 4 had like 2 or 3 rooms near start that had red Gorilla in them. So he was farming that one blue Octorok outside of 2 for a long time. I think it just didn't dawn on him that he could go in there, so he had a long grind for a little while there. But there are a lot of small things that we went over as this race went. Ooh, we need a bomb. This is rough. But yeah, there's a couple of different things that I think when you look back on, and if you go through some of the commentary that was done in this, you'll see that there's something that we could probably look at going forward as far as cleaning something up. So, we did this with the thought process of hopefully the runners get to watch this back and see what they can work on going into week 6 and hopefully into brackets.
Absolutely. I definitely have a lot to work on myself. I was getting better at my screen wraps, things like that. I started getting flustered towards the end and I was making more mistakes. And all in all, my early routing I feel is okay. I feel like my later routing is really where I fail. And I start getting a lot worse because I don't prioritize the right thing. So once I figure that stuff out, I'd probably have a little bit better of a chance. I'm not awful at my combat, but I'm not great either. Patra's still just... The fact that I had to get past 2 Patras was awful. That one Patra blocking me in... what was it? 5. In 5, having to go north to get through that Patra, just like... That frustrated me beyond all end. I was getting really aggravated at that. I was like, come on, I need to go north. And I don't think there was a way around him either, so...
Nope, that was the only way through that dungeon because Zelda's room blocked you on the other one.
Right.
Please be an item for Sharky. It is the boomerang. So good. He can't go through this. Please bomb right now, Sharky. If he bombs right in this room, he completes. Otherwise, he's going to go for a bit of a trek.
Oh, is he in the room to the left of the manhandler?
Yep, he bombed down. Pick up the key in the corner. And it's going to go through the staircase. So now he's on compass hunt because he's never going to come back here. He bombed every other wall that you could have bombed in. And just didn't pick that one.
Alright, well, I'll tell you what, folks. I'm going to go ahead and drop on out of here. Thank you very much for the commentary to SpeedGaming and everything like that. So... I really appreciate y'all doing all this and putting this on, so.
No problem, GG's, and good luck in week 6.
Thank you.
I think HN in chat's talking about a Z1R coaching stream. I'd like to see the Z1R community go in and do something similar to some of the other communities where you have like a co-op where you have like a mentor and a mentee kind of going in, and the mentor kind of coaches the runner on the fly about certain things that they could do and kind of improve on their game. I think that would be kind of a neat thing to do.
I like that idea. I'd sign up for that.
So kind of do it as it is now, I kind of lurk some of the random Zelda streams when I see someone playing Zelda 1 Randomizer and I'm not doing anything. I kind of drop in to see what's up with them and if they need any help getting through the rando for the first time or whatever time it might be for them. Sharky gets bamboozled by the shoot he walked through just a minute ago. So at 2 hours, I think you kind of get fried on these seeds, whether or not you're experienced with it or new to the scene. Question in chat is, what is the experience level of these runners? Well, you heard it from Unknownavailability that his experience of this was pretty much brand new to the scene. Having seen Sharky around since the 2018 tournament as kind of a tournament casual, I know he's played this for the last couple of years, but I don't think it's his primary game at all. I think he plays a lot of other stuff. So if you see some of the tournament casuals come through here often enough for these tournaments, you'll probably group him in with those guys for the most part, and gals.
So Sharky back here at start, trying to figure out which way to go.
Yeah, it's just one of those rough situations where he's missed the one critical bomb wall. Unless he clears a room and it happens to drop a compass, I don't fancy his chances of getting back there and finding it anytime soon. It's not the most conventional wall to go bomb, but the part that gets me the most is he bombed basically every other wall, and he just forgot to check that one. So it's extra rough when you went through the process of trying to get your way into that little corner. I think even if the compass shows up, he might consider that it might be blocked by a staircase that's kind of magical. He has not been left through this key door. This second item is either the any key, which would be quite helpful, or the red candle, which is worthless.
Yeah, the ladder can't be in 9, so it's either going to be in 7, 8.
Yep. It seems like he's still convinced that he's got a walkable path to Zelda. So he skipped a couple of staircases. Don't know that this can take him anywhere at all that's going to be helpful to finding Zelda, unless he gets a compass. He has no silvers left, so he's got to go with wand and white sword to combat. Please give him the compass game. Be nice. Except don't put it in this room. That'd be really rude.
I'm getting trolled by this fairy.
Got it. Yeah, at this point you've got to know it's got to be in that northeast corner if you're Sharky, because you've been to every room that you can really get to except for the southeast corner that's adjacent to a room that you haven't seen. And that's important because of shutter door logic. So here comes the up and A. If he understands his logic of level 9 shutter doors, he'll know that southeast corner that he's got to bomb into and northeast corner. So let's see what happens here. Looks like he's going back to again and probably trying to bomb right. I believe he's tried this already. Maybe not. Maybe this is just unknown and he just backed out of this room after going into it.
So we know she's to the right, so he can't bomb here. And I don't think he can bomb up. He needs to go up a room, though, and bomb right.
Yeah, may clear this to see if this is a staircase. It is not. And it looks like he's once again forgotten that this is the silly horizontal shoot, so it should be an up and A from here. Come on, Sharky. See your map here, you've got 2 spots to go check, so we gotta go to one of them here. This is just going to take him one room to the left here, which will get him no closer, unfortunately. And we know that he can't bomb into that general northeast corner because there's a right-hand staircase that's going to block his progress, being able to bomb over. So really just got to go southeast corner because you know that's where your staircase is, unless this is going to do something that I haven't seen yet. Sharky's bombing back towards that staircase that this connects to, so looks like he's just flustered as to where he can go. And you know there's no point in bombing left here because you've been in this room, so it's about where to place your bomb that's going to be most effective. If we're being realistic, the most effective place to put this bomb will be in the 9 column to go south. So he would go right in this room and then bomb down. That would make the most logical sense of the decisions left. He could also opt to go up through the staircase. I think he was hoping to bomb right in this room, though. Oh, here goes the stair. So here's the moment of truth. Will he bomb right this time? Oh, looks like he's avoiding the same bomb wall to the right here, maybe? Very, so that's probably 5, that's 6, that's 7. Will he bomb right here? He's gonna bomb down. Again, I think, maybe. Nope. Oh. Oh, baby.
It was killing me.
He found it. He looked like he wanted to bomb to the south. I think he might burn something here, though.
Is that how fire works? Burn fire with fire?
I mean, isn't that kind of a firefighting strategy with forest fires where you kind of burn in front of the fire and it makes the worst of the two kind of flame out because there's nothing to burn anymore?
Fair enough.
So I guess in theory, I mean, I don't know. It's 2 hours in. So with that, we'll see if Sharky wants to jump in for a few seconds here. Go ahead and give the shoutouts again to the tracking behind the scenes, if I could speak. It's not working, but as you see, it's view behind the scenes. So, once again, thanks to View Boom for doing it. But yeah, this is one of those combat scenes where I think the runners kind of had issues even getting health to be able to even get the red ring once they found it. So it wasn't going to be easy early. And then just a little bit of cleanup work to do for the runners going forward, just to kind of learn the tactics of getting through some of these rooms and working their way to completion. I think both these runners, when they look back, are going to see spots where they can probably knock 15 to 20 minutes off their time. So
we are joined by Sharky. GG Sharky.
That's seed.
yeah, a couple of things went kind of wrong for you. Mostly Dodongo bombing, I would say, went wrong.
Definitely. That bomb. I had to go buy bombs a few times. It's like, oh, I know something's in 2. like behind those Dodongos. I got hit by, what was it, turrets a million times.
Yeah, there's a
3
couple.
levels behind that fire bracelet. Ugh.
Yeah, I think you missed the staircase in 8, which, if you went to the Triforce room, you went left of the Triforce room in 8, and there's a shutter door to the left, which you checked, and then you went north and checked all the rooms up there. And you at one point walked, like, all the way into the southern door, and then turned back around to go into one of the other doors again. The item was in that next room over, because Unknown walked right by it earlier before, so we have no idea what that item is. It was either the ladder, the red candle, or the any key. Those are the 3 outstanding items, and the other ones are in 7 and 9, second item.
Yeah,
So that,
ladder's not in 9, so...
yep, so it was fairly good chance that the ladder was in 8 in that one room that you just happened to not go into.
Yeah, near the end I was like, you know what? I don't got ladder, I'm gambling on it. I don't know where it is.
Then you had a...
item in 8, but... like, you know what? I think that cost me a lot of time, too.
I would say 9 was rather interesting because you got to Gan's room, you got bopped around and bodied a little bit, and then suddenly at half a heart you turned it on and kind of reversed the fortunes on Gan and then took him out.
Yeah, if I did not get a stun lock, I think I would have died.
Oh, definitely would have died because he kept spawning on the right given his pattern, so he would have walked over into you. But there's some other fun stuff. There was the bait block in 7, which we think may have been required, but it's hard to know whether or not the bomb wall behind that chute would have actually opened. So that could have been cool.
Yeah, to me it's like, oh, required bait. That's what I thought for a while, so it's like... I wasn't thinking if the bomb wall up north was the thing.
Yeah, what kept you in this race for the longest time was... I think you checked the red ring. You found the red ring probably at 20 minutes and got enough hearts finally by about the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, but I had that 6 hearts, like, you know what? I had to V-line for that. I need it.
Yeah, your opponent, I think, had 6 hearts at 30 or 35 minutes and found the red ring at probably an hour 35. So the combat, specifically the Patra room in 1 and the Patra guarding the way to the White Sword and the Triforce in 5, basically raid bossed Unknown into not being able to get any further into the seed until they went out and found the red ring on the overworld. And once they found that, then they finally started plowing through the Patras that were in the way, and they got to the point where they got to the completion of the seed.
Yeah. That item in the Power Bracelet 2 kind of cost me big time.
Yeah, when you look back, there's probably a couple of things that you'll see that you're like, man, if I would have just done this, it would have been a little bit better for me. But that's kind of rando as well, so go back and kind of listen. We kind of talked a little bit about certain things here and there for both sides of this to kind of clean up on maybe going into week 6.
Yeah, Blue Lamolas kind of got me early on, too. It's like, I know there's something here. I just had that feeling, like, I keep getting bopped home, so I had to leave, come back later. Yeah, for a while, I was like, did I mismark my map somewhere? I'm looking at my map, double checking areas. It's like, yeah, I'm missing dungeons. Mainly the ones I was missing, obviously, the Fire Bracelet block, so...
Yeah.
And 3 dungeons blocked by power bracelets in that seed was kind of crazy.
And I found 8, like, oh, cool, 8. Cool, I found 1. Let me find another one soon. Then 5, you know, I was thinking, you know what? I'm not really going to go out of my way for the item. I'm just going to try first and go. But that item 5 was on a way. Like, you know what? I'll just check it. Maybe the ladder, may not.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is the ladder wasn't required, so GG's to both our runners.
Yeah. So the ladder had to be in 7 or 8. So that's all I know.
Yep, you know about as much as we do on this one. It's red candle, any key, and ladder outstanding. Ladder being in 7 or 8, red candle and any key being the other 2 items across 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, Zelda was hiding pretty good too. I'm glad they
Yeah.
didn't run out of bombs.
Yeah, what happened was you bombed every other wall over there. That was the only bomb wall in. Your opponent randomly bombed that wall a little bit earlier. They had more bombs than you because they took the bomb upgrade out of 1, which was +6. So that led them to bomb some more in level 9, trying to make sure they found every way around ladder blocks that they could.
And of course, I never seen a bomb upgrade in 1.
Yeah, you bombed down and tried to bomb down the Patra room, and it didn't open. So that was the telltale sign that there had to be an old man down there, because otherwise that wall would have opened, and that was in fact where the bait block was. But it was also key blocked, so you had to burn a key whichever way you went to it.
Yeah, I bought a few keys too. It's like, I know with this flag set, buying keys may help a little bit. But at the end, where I had like 10, I had up to 10 keys at least.
You had a lot of keys going into 9, burned through them just trying to find the endpoint, but yeah, just a bit of a trolley seed.
Yeah. Door repairs were outrageous, but
Yeah, but you also had the maximum for your medium secret, if I remember correctly, so you had a chance to get a lot of money still. It wasn't too bad a seed, money-wise.
large secret kind of sucked, but medium secrets does help out.
Yeah, well, there's only 3 large versus, I think, 9 or 10 medium, so with the medium rolling +10, it kind of took care of the fact that the large didn't roll all that high. So I would call that a neutral money seed overall.
The small secrets are decent, at least, so. And all I know if next week is I'll either face what? Juris, or I'll have to buy because unless I get paired up, I don't know how it will work. Because there's
Well-
3 of us winless and one of us probably going to get to buy still.
I think the way it works for Druis is they get to go up regardless to the 1 win slot because the buy gives you the win. So it would put it between the people remaining in. I don't have that list in front of me, but
It's
whoever you get,
complicated.
it's going to give you a chance for 1 more week of practice before we hit group stages, which is where the eliminations potentially begin. So get some practice in and see if you can make some noise once we hit bracket or the group stages.
Hopefully, try to do something. If I don't win, well, I join it to have fun, so.
Yep, it's the right attitude to take towards it. With that, though, I think we're about ready to wrap up here. There is a April Fool's Day race going on SpeedGaming 2, and then there may be 1 or 2 more matches tonight. We got to find some commentary teams and throw them together for those to get some airspace, so keep an eye out for that.
That'll be a race between Eat My Steel and Dragon Dark. 11:30 Eastern.
Yeah, and then after that, I think it's, I believe it's Zugman for sure, and I'm trying to remember who their opponent is at 1 in the morning. Zardia, yep. So, one of our runners from France, and Zardia's been around the community for a long time. I used to watch him and Jake Coper kind of go at it in these late night races. So, should be fun to see if they can get a restream. See some fun action there, I'm sure. Any final thoughts, Sharky, before we go ahead and bail out for the night?
No, just, thanks for the, you guys for the commentary and the tracker, for the tracking. So, and of course, SpeedGaming for getting a chance to, host our match.
Yep, we put one together there within about the last 20 minutes or so. Good work behind the scenes from both Z1 admins and the SpeedGaming side as well to get that going. So hopefully you get a chance to watch it back, pick up on some things, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Phonics.
Tracker, Booth and Boom again. Thank you.